Good morning, childrens. Very good morning. Today I am going to explain about plant kingdom. Okay, plant kingdom is your second lesson. Okay, in this lesson you will be having three videos. The first video of this lesson is plant kingdom part 1. Okay, in this video I am going to explain about algae. Okay, in my online class itself I have explained you what is a plant kingdom, what it consisting of. Okay, today I'll start with the plant kingdom consisting of the type A or the class 1 Thallophyta, that is algae. Okay, so this plant kingdom, it is broadly classified into two types, that is cryptogamy and phanerogamy. Cryptogamy is one type is Thallophyta, another type is Bryophyta, another one is Pteridophyta, and phanerogamy is nothing but it is a consisting of gymnosperm and angiosperm. Okay, so next this plant kingdom again divided into, I told you the plant kingdom is a kingdom and it has broadly classified into two subkingdoms like a cryptogamy and phanerogamy. This subkingdom of the cryptogamy is divided into three types, that is Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, and phanerogamy is divided into gymnosperm and angiosperm. Okay, so this division of the cryptogamy, that is Thallophyta, is again divided into three types, that is algae, fungi, bacteria. In this Thallophyta we are going to dealing with the algae in this video, and Bryophyta again divided into, that is Hepaticopsida, Bryopsida, and this Pteridophyta again divided into four classes. The Bryophyta is divided into three types, that is Hepaticopsida and Bryopsida, Anthrotopsida. Okay, Anthocerotopsida, Bryopsida, Hepaticopsida. Okay, and this Pteridophyta divided into Coleopsida, Lycopsida, Spinopsida, Pteridopsida. So these are all the four varieties of the pteridophytes. Okay, next I am coming to the gymnosperm classes like Cycadophyta, Coniferophyta, Coniferophyta. Angiosperm is classes that is dicotyledone, monocotyledone. Okay, dicotyledone, monocotyledone. Okay, next life cycle pattern in plants. Okay, alteration of generation. Introduction, that is alteration of generation is common in all plants. Okay, alteration of the haploid gametophyte phase. So if you are taking the plants generation introduction, that their alteration of the generation, the plants will be for some time in the sporophytic phase, sometime in the gametophytic phase. Okay, they alter their generation to time. Okay, so what is the two type of their generation? One is sporophytic phase, another one is gametophytic phase. If it is in the gametophytic phase, that is consisting of haploid number of chromosome. If it is in the sporophytic phase, that is consisting of 2n, that is diploid number of chromosome. So that is called alteration of generation in the plants. If you are taking this alteration of generation, there are three types is there. One is a haplonotic cycle, haplonotic life cycle, diplonotic life cycle, haplodiplonotic life cycle. Okay, this life cycle is very important in case of the plants. So this gametophytic phase or the haplonotic life cycle is, the gametophytic phase is dominant, photosynthetic and independent. Okay, so gametophytic phase is dominant and photosynthetic and independent. Sporophytic phase is represented by zygote. So male and female gametes are united is called a diplonotic cycle. Okay, so the sporophytic phase means if the plants is following a sporophytic phase, it consisting of diploid number of chromosome. But if the gametophytic phase is maintained by the production of male and female gamete, when the male and female gametes are produced, it has the haploid number of chromosome. Okay, so the zygote undergoes the meiosis to restore the haploid condition. So zygote meaning is it consisting of male and female gametes are united to form the zygote. Zygote again undergo the meiosis process to maintain or to restore the N condition or the haploid condition. Example, volvox and Spirogyra. These both volvox and Spirogyra comes under in the algae or the Thallophyta of the cryptogamy subkingdom of plant kingdom. Next, this is life cycle pattern in the plants. If you see the A is aplantic, B is an diplomatic, C is a haplodiplomatic. See this that is you see that here full of dominant, the in the A you will be appreciating haplonotic cycle is dominant, and here the diplomatic cycle is dominant, and here the intermediate of the both are equal, haplonotic and diplomatic both are equal, so that it is called haplodiplomatic. So zygote is formed after the syngamy. Syngamy means fusion of male and female gamete. So gametes are produced in the gametogenesis process from the spores having the haploid number of chromosome. So spores only will be getting the gametophyte, male and female gametophyte. Through the gametogenesis process, gametophyte only will be getting a gametes. Okay, gamete is produced through the gametogenesis process, that is followed by the syngamy, and after the syngamy zygote is formed with the 2n number of chromosome. So this 2n number of chromosome is a sporophytic phase is less in case of the A, but the haplonotic cycle is more dominant. Example volvox as well as the this thing volvox and Spirogyra. Next I am coming to the B is and the diplontic. Diplontic is nothing but, okay, if you are taking the life cycle pattern of in the plants, that is nothing but zygote is there, the syngamy is there, okay. So gametogenesis is there, meiosis process takes place, and it's followed by zygote. It's followed by this zygote. So next is sporophyte. So here the zygote is formed, but by zygote is taking a too long time than the gametogenesis process. So diplomatic is more dominant than the haplonotic. But if you are seeing here, both the gametophyte phase and sporophyte phase are equal, so that it is called a haplodiplomatic. Okay, wherever you are seeing a syngamy with the zygote, that is a sporophytic phase which consisting of diploid number of chromosome. But if you are seeing the diploid, only the sporophytic phase is more dominant, that is diploid number of chromosome is more, it is following the sporophytic generation. And if you are seeing the more haploid number of chromosomes, that is following a haplonotic type of cycle. And diplomatic cycle, that is the sporophytic phase is dominant and photosynthetic and independent. The gametophytic phase is represented by single to few celled gametophyte. Okay, and example of this is gymnosperm, angiosperm are the examples of the diplomatic cycle. Gymnosperm and angiosperm are the example of the diplomatic cycle. And haplodiplomatic cycle, it is found in the bryophytes and pteridophytes. So algae followed by the haplonotic cycle, gymnosperm, angiosperm following the diplomatic cycle, and bryophytes, pteridophytes following the haplodiplomatic cycle. Okay, so both phases are multicellular. So I hope you understand this cycle. So this is example is volvox and Spirogyra algae example. This is example of the gymnosperm, angiosperm, that is phanerogamy subkingdom families classes, and this is example of both bryophytes and pteridophytes is considered in the haplodiplomatic cycle. Next I am coming to the condition, that is the bryophytes. Okay, so this is one more important point. The bryophyte is dominant independent phase of the gametophyte, and it alternates with the short-lived multicellular sporophyte totally, partially or dependent on the gametophyte. Okay, so if you are seeing this என்ன சொல்கிறாங்க அப்படின்னா bryophytesல பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா இதில் வந்து gametophyte phase வந்து நான் சொல்லியிருக்கேன், bryophytes and pteridophytes are the example of haplodiplomatic cycle. Okay, so இதில் bryophytes, pteridophytes both are different classes of the subkingdom of the plants. Okay, plantோட kingdomல கிரிப்டோகாமே சப்கிங்டம் கீழே வர 2 கிளாஸஸ். இதில் bryophytesல வந்து டாமினண்ட்டான இண்டிபெண்ட்டான ஃபேஸ் வந்து gametophyteன்னு இருக்குது. டெரிடோபைட்ஸில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஸ்போரோபைட்டிக் ஃபேஸ் வந்து இண்டிபெண்ட்டாக இருக்குது. ஸோ இண்டிபெண்ட்டாக டாமினண்ட்டாக எது இருக்குது ரெண்டில் பார்த்தோம்னா ரெண்டுக்குமே ஈக்குவலாக இருக்குது. பட் கொஞ்சம் டாமினண்ட்டாக ப்ரையோபைட்ஸில் இருக்கிறது கேமட்டோஃபைட்டும், டெரிடோபைட்ஸில் வந்து ஸ்போரோபைட்டும் இருக்குது. ஸோ இது ஆல்ட்ரேட் ஆகும்போது இது வந்து என்னவா மாறுது அப்படின்னா மல்டிசெல்லுலர் சாப்ரோபைட்டிக் ஆர் த ஆட்டோட்ரோபிக். மல்டிசெல்லுலர் சாப்ரோபைட்டிக் ஆட்டோட்ரோபிக்னு என்ன அர்த்தம் அப்படின்னா இந்த டெரிடோபைட்ஸில் சொல்லியிருக்கிறது என்ன அப்படின்னா இட் ஹேஸ் தி மெனி செல்ஸ். சாப்ரோபைட்டிக் மீன்ஸ் இட் டேக்கிங் த ஃபுட் அண்ட் இட் டஸ் நாட் காஸ் த எனி டிசீஸ் டு த ஹோஸ்ட் அப்படின்ற மாதிரியும், ஆட்டோட்ரோபிக்னா ஆர் எல்ஸ் இட் கேன் ஏபிள் டு சிந்தேஸ் த ஃபுட் ஆர் எல்ஸ் இட் இஸ் டேக்கிங் சம் சோர்சஸ் ஃப்ரம் த ஃபுட் அண்ட் இட் இஸ் குவைட் காமன். ஓகே அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. அண்ட் ஷார்ட் லிவ்டு கேமட்டோபைட். பட் இங்கே பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா ஷார்ட் லிவ்டு மல்டிஸ்பெல்லுலர் ஸ்போரோபைட் டோட்டலி ஆர் பார்ஷியலி டிபெண்டன்ட் ஆன் த gametophyte ஃபுல்லாவோ இல்லை பார்ஷியலாவோ டிபெண்ட் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கிற ஒரு ஷார்ட் லிவ்டு மல்டி செல்லுலாரோட ஆல்டர்னேட் ஆகியிருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. ஓகே, if you have any doubt you can ask me after watching this video completely regarding this bryophytes, pteridophytes, haplonode, diplonodic cycle, students. Okay, next I am coming to the algae and thallophytes. This video is fully about the algae that you have seen in your home during, especially in the rainy season you have seen in your terrace or in the water tank or in the wall of your houses, like with some slippery nature due to the slippery nature that is called algae, right? Some greenish appearances. This is I have shown you some picturization. Next, algae introduction. Algae, like a plants only, it is a primitive form of plants. What is called primitive form? Very early time it is produced, it is originated. So what is called autotrophs? It have the tendency to synthesize their food is called autotrophs. It is grow in the wide range of environment. So wide range of habitats means it is present in the very different kinds of moist places and in the water content wet places. Okay, and majority of them are aquatic and marine and fresh water. Marine water example of the algae is the Gracilaria and the sargassum and Gracilaria. Fresh water is example Edogonium and Eulothrix, and also found in the soils, that is Frishilla and Vaucheria. So this Frishilla and Vaucheria is present in the soil. Freshwater Edogonium and Eulothrix, and marine is the Gracilaria sargassum. These are all the aquatic, and it is already said it is present in the wide range of habitat. It is present in the moist place, and it is present in the shadow place and wet place and dry place, soil place, different kind of place it is present, so that it is called wide range of habitat is there. Chlorella is a different kind of, it's a single cellular algae which is having the endozoic life in the hydra and sponges. Hydra and sponges, you know that it is aquatic plant and animals. So in that aquatic plants and animals, it can able to survive inside the body of the spongilla and hydra, so that it is called endozoic life. Endo means inside. So it means this animals like sponges, it's animals present in the water, in that aquatic animal body consisting of the chlorella is growing, so that it is called endozoic life. Next, I am coming to the continuation of the algae are adapted to thrive in harsh environments too. So algae also can able to survive in the harsh environment too, like our Archaebacterium you have seen in the last lesson, right? It can able to survive in the extreme conditions or the thrive in the harsh environments, like example that is Dunaliella salina. That is Dunaliella salina is a saline. It can able to grow in the very salty environment, high saline environment, that is called a halophytic. It is called as the halophytic algae. Cryophytic means it can able to grow in the mountain of the snows. Okay, so in the mountain of the snows it can able to survive and grow is called cryophytic. Cryo means cold, high cold plant. It is a type of plant growing in the in the snow area, and also it gives some because of the pigments of the red pigment, it is giving a red, it impacts or it gives red color to the snow. It's called red snow. Next, it's grow on the surface of the aquatic plants and called epiphytic algae. That is example, that is Coleochaete and Rhodymania. That is example, Coleochaete and Rhodymania is an example of epiphytic algae, that is which is growing on the surface of the aquatic plant. Aquatic plant means plants which is growing in the water. The study of the algae is called phycology and algaeology. Next, general characteristics of algae I am coming. Algae is a eukaryotic cells except BGA. BGA means blue green algae, that also you have studied in the last lesson, right? So algae are the eukaryotic organisms. That means it consisting of the well-defined nuclear membrane surrounding the nucleus, and also it is having the membrane-bound nucleus, membrane-bound organelles like Golgi apparatus, endoplasmic reticulum, chloroplast, and something is there. Okay, so that it is called eukaryotic. And unicellular algae also there, multicellular algae is there. Unicellular algae is there, Chlamydomonas and Chlorella. Multicellular organism is like a Spirogyra, Walbachs, all those things. Sorry, Spirogyra and this Edogonium and all. Next, does not show differentiation into tissue system. If you are taking the algae body, it does not show any tissue system. Separate cells will not be there. Okay, the cell wall is made up of cellulose and hemicellulose, And siliceous, it is a eukaryotic organism, so that its cell is covered by the cell wall. The cell wall is made up of cellulose and a hemicellulose. Siliceous wall are present in the diatoms. What is called siliceous wall are present in the diatoms? Diatoms is the type of the algae only, and the diatom wall is made up of siliceous, that is silicon materials like. And in Chara, the thallus is encrusted with a calcium carbonate. Chara is a type of algae. Its thallus, that means its algae body is mainly made up of the calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Some algae possess the algene polysulfate esters of the polysaccharides, which are the giving the algae, gelatin or agar-agar. So agar-agar is nothing but that you have seen in the Skippy's jellies. Children will like to eat that. Okay, it is semi-solid in this state. That is, you are telling it's a jelly or Skippies you used to eat, right? So that Skippies or the jellies consisting of this agar-agar only. This agar-agar only making that sweet as in the semi-solid state. With the help of this agar-agar and gelatin. This agar-agar gelatin is made from the some algae which is present in the aquatic environment, water environment. So that agar-agar consisting of algene polysulfate esters of the polysaccharides. Okay, next I'm coming to the again the continuation of the general characteristics algae is it's a unicellular the algae consisting of some will be motile is there, some will not motile, some will motile. So if it is moving it's called motile. So if it is not moving it is called non-motile. If it is in the unicellular or it is in the multicellular, if some of the algae in the colonial form, some of the algae in the branched filamentous form, some of the algae in the branched filamentous, some of the algae in unbranched filamentous is there, some of the algae in the discoid form, some of the algae in the heterotrichous form, some of them will be folious form. So example of the unicellular motile is a Chlamydomonas, unicellular non-motile is a Chlorella, colonial motile is a Volvox, colonial non-motile is a Hydrodictyon and Siphonus voucheria. Okay, next unbranched filamentous means Spirogyra, branched filamentous means Cladophora, discoid type of the algae is an that is Coleochaetae, and heterotrichous example Fritiella, and folious example Vulva to giant calves, that is big type of algae is called Laminaria and Macrocystis. These are all the some forms of algae with the examples. Next continuation with the sources for the it's sources of the alginate agar-agar and carrageenan. These are all the substances which is used to making the jelly like substances or the semi-solid status. Okay, semi-solid states. Next, has a membrane bound nucleus, cell organelles like chloroplast, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body, pyrenoids and chromatophore, and assist the synthesis and store the starch. The pigmentation, reserve food material and flagellation differs among their algae groups. Some will have the flagella, some will have the pigmentation. So those who flagella having algae can able to motile. Those does not have that, they will not move, they are non-motile. Depending upon the algae group, the reserve food material, pigmentation, flagellates will be vary. So these are all the some diagram. If you see the first D, that is Eudogenium is in multicellular cells. It has some capsules and holdfast cells. And Coleochaetae is a type of cells which is algae which is present in the aquatic plants surfaces. It is epiphytic algae, and this is Spirituella is again it's kind of filamentous algae. Vulva is also type of algae. Sargassum and Fucus. Next, I am coming to the reproduction in algae. Asexual there is different type of reproduction is there. Two types is there: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is nothing but that you have studied in your last year lower classes. That is binary fission. First one is binary fission. The one's parent cell is divided into two. Daughter cell is called through the cell division is called fission. That type is that the cell divide mitotically to produce a daughter cell is called Chlamydomonas. Okay, and fragmentation means parent thallus cells, that is parent algae body grow into a new individual cells, that is fragmentation, that is eulothrix. Budding means a lateral bud at the side or the lateral means side of the algae body forming a small outgrowth of the daughter cell is called budding. Next, bulbilis means wedge shaped algae body, new algae body is developed, that is called bulbilis. Acnitis means that is thick walled spores. Acnitis is important, 1 marks for you. This is thick walled spores mean for the permeation. Permeation means can able to withstand at the dry condition, that is during the water scarcity condition, water scarcity or the dry condition, it can able to tolerate the cell with the help of this thick walled spore is called permeation, and it germinates with the advantage of the favorable condition. Example, Pithophora, it's called Pithophora. Next, tuber means that the structure found on the rhizoids. Rhizoids means roots and lower node of the chara with the store their food material. Tubers means, like its example is potato only. Potato stores a large amount of starch. Okay, that potato only we will be eating, right? Like that. The algae also consisting of some algae, example chara, and these algae or have the tendency to store the large amount of the food material. Asexual reproduction takes place by the production of zoospores, that is Eulothrix, Eudogonium. Aplanospores is thin-walled non-motile spores, example Eucharia. So these are all the asexual reproduction, producing a zoospore produced by Eulothrix through the method called fragmentation, and zoospore is produced by the Eulothrix and Eudogonium, and aplanospore is produced by, it's a thin walled non-motile spore produced by the Eucharia. Autospores is produced by the look similar to their parent cell, so that it is called autospore, example Chlorella. Next, Kypanospore is a thick-walled aplanospore, example Chlamydomonas nivalis. Tetraspore is a diploid thallus of the Polysophonia, produce haploid spores after the meiosis process. So these four I have given you in the different color because this is very very important. In the last year so many times they have asked you in the different type of spores. The spores will be given in the match. Okay, they will tell you to match with the correct example to this particular corresponding spores with their example. So read carefully, memorize this with carefully. So reproduction of the algae is very very important, students. Next, reproduction in the algae. This is just showing you a diagrammatic representation. Fragmentation, the parent body, algae body, is divided into small segments. These fragments is growing as an again new parent cells. This is zoospore, which is released from the zorangium by the cladophora. Next, isogamy. This isogamy and oogamy and anisogamy are the sexual reproduction of the algae. This is also a sexual reproduction. Next, sexual reproduction in algae is by the isogamy. Isogamy, anisogamy, oogamy you have studied in your lower classes. Fusion of morphologically and physiologically similar gametes is called isogamy. Example, Eulothrix. Anisogamy means fusion of either morphologically or physiologically dissimilar gametes. Okay, either morphologically or physiologically they may be dissimilar in their appearance or their function. Example, anisogamy, that is Pandorina. And oogamy, fusion of both morphologically and physiologically dissimilar gametes. Morphologically differ to the physiologically differ gametes வந்து fuse ஆகி வரது அது oogamy. But வந்து anisogamy, fusion of either morphologically or physiologically dissimilar gametes are fusing. Example of the oogamy, Sargassum. Next, do you know is very very important for you. The oldest record algae is Grippania, which is discovered in the banded ion formation in the northern Migian and dated for approximately 2100 malt. Okay, so Grippania is a very old record of the algae which is present in the banded ion, in the ion formation. Okay, classification of algae. Algae is classified based on their pigmentation, type of flagella, reserve food material, based on their thallus structure, means based on their body structure, whether it is a single cellular or unicellular or the multicellular or filamentous or colonial or all those things, and they based on their reproduction also the algae are classified. This algae structure and reproduction in algae in the 1935 is a book have written. Okay, so this book is telling that he classified the scientists he classified the algae into 11 classes, namely Chlorophyceae, Xanthophyceae, that is Chrysophyceae and Basilarioophyceae and Cryptophyceae, Dinophyceae, Chloromonodineae and Euglenophyceae, Phaeophyceae, Rhodophyceae, Cyanophyceae. The salient features of the Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae, Rhodophyceae have given you detailedly. So I am going to explain about the Chlorophyceae. The members are commonly called green algae. Most of the species are aquatic, that is freshwater Spirogyra marine. Okay, so the few are terrestrial, that is the normal living algae, example that is Trintifolia. Variation among the shape of the chloroplast are found in this member of the algae. So Chlorophyceae is a group of algae which consisting of chloroplast. This chloroplast is differ in the algae, in the different algae in the same Chlorophyceae family. And this Chlorophyceae family, most of the species are freshwater. Example Spirogyra, example marine is an ulva. And cup-shaped Chlorophyceae organism, that is example Chlamydomonas. Second one, these are all the structures of the chloroplast. Based on the chloroplast shape, they are classified into 7 types. One cup-shaped algae in the Chlorophyceae is a Chlamydomonas. Cup-shaped chloroplast is a discoid chara, example, and griddle-shaped Eulothrix and reticulate-shaped Eudogonium. Spiral-shaped, that is Spirogyra, and stellate type, that is Zygnema, and plate-like, that is a Maugdatia. That is Maugdatia. So chlorophyll A and B is very common photosynthetic pigments of the Chlorophyceae. Storage bodies are called pyrenoids, are present in the chloroplast and store starch. Okay, storage bodies are called pyrenoids, are present in the chloroplast and store the starch. It contains the proteins, and the cell wall of the Chlorophyceae family algae is made up of, the inner layer is made up of cellulose, outer layer wall is made up of pectin. So inner layer of the cell wall is made up of cellulose and outer layer is made up of the pectin, and vegetative reproduction takes place by means of the fragmentation. Vegetative reproduction of the Chlorophyceae family takes place by the fragmentation, and asexual reproduction by the production of the zoospore and aplanospores and ecnites. So keep it in the mind, zoospore, aplanospore, ecnites are produced with the help of the Chlorophyceae family. Sexual reproduction is present and may be isogamous, anisogamous, or the oogomous. Example for this group algae is a Chlorella, Chlamydomonas, Valvax, Spirogyra, Eulothrix, Chara, and Vulva. Next, Chlorophyceae is all are green algae. It's also called green algae. Next, Phaeophyceae also called, it is a brown algae. This brown algae characteristics marine habitats. That is, it's mostly marine habitat. Example, Pleurocladia is a freshwater. Brown algae are the Phaeophyceae organism. The body structure or the thallus is a filamentous in nature. Example, Ectocorpus. Front-like structure. The body structure of this is a dictyo. To maybe a giant calps, that is example Laminaria and Macrocystis, or the examples of the brown algae are the Phaeophyceae. The thallus is differentiated into leaf-like structure and hold fast. Okay, leaf-like photosynthetic part called frans, and stack-like structure is called stipe. It's somewhat stack-like structure is called stipe. Somewhat it is leaf-like structure is called frans. It have the photosynthetic part in the leaf-like structure of the Phaeophyceae, and stack-like structure is called stipe. Okay, the pigment of this is chlorophyll A and C, carotenoid, xanthophyll, and golden 49 is a type of pigment is present here. This golden 49 is a brown colored pigment is called fucoxanthin. It gives the shade of the colors from the olive green to brown to the algae member. So it gives the algae green to brown color in the algae. Mannitol and Laminarian are the reserve food material. It is motile reproductive structures is present, and two laterally inserted unequal flagella are present. Okay, two laterally inserted, that is on the either side of the algae, side of the body of the algae. You should not say side. On the either side of the lateral side of the algae, you will have the unequal flagella are present. One is a whiplash, another one is then the tinsel. Tinselனா என்ன அப்படினா, tinsel whiplashனா சவுக்கடி மாதிரி இருக்கிற ஒரு சைடு ஃப்ளெஜெல்லாவும், இன்னொரு சைடு வந்து அதை விட சின்னதாக இருக்கிறது டின்சல்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. ஸோ two different length of the two different flagella for the movement is present in the algae body, and it's sexual reproduction only through the isogamy and oogamy, and most of the forms of the show oogamous type. Okay, alteration of generation is present in the isomorphic and heteromorphic and diplomatic. Sargassum, Laminaria, Fucus, and Dictyota. So next, finally I am coming to the Rhodophyceae, or the rhodo meaning is red algae, pheo meaning is brown algae, chloro meaning is green algae. So Rhodophyceae is also called red algae. This is mostly a marine. Its thallus, its body structure is multicellular, macroscopic. We does not need any microscope to to observe this algae. It is a macroscopic and it is a diverse form. And Porphyridium is the unicellular form of the red algae, and it is a filamentous body structure is a example, that is a Goniotrichum. Ribbon-like structure is Porphyra also present, and Corallina and Linthaeum is are heavily impregnated with the lime and form the coral reefs. Okay, coral reefs. It's deposited or growing on the rocks. Okay. rocks which is present in the water. Chlorophyll A, that is R phycoerythrin and R phycocyanin are the photosynthetic pigment. R phycoerythrin and R phycocyanin are the photopigments. Asexual reproduction by means of monospores, neutral spores and tetraspores. Floridian is a starch which is stored in this type of algae. So next, sexual reproduction is a oogamous, male sex organ, there is spermatogonium which is produced the spermatium, female sex organ is scorpingonium. So generally what will be happen, the spermatogonium is a sperm of the male gametophyte and egg which is consisting present in the female sex organ. So this spermatogonium carried through the water and fused with the egg nucleus to form the zygote. The zygotes develop into a carpospores. The zygotes develop into the carpospore in the rhodophyceae or in the red algae. So it always need the sexual reproduction. It is a oogamous type of the sexual reproduction it is following. It always need a water for their gametogenesis process. So the spermatogam which is travel in the water, which is carried through the water and it is fused with the egg nucleus and forming the zygote. It is a zygote producing a carpospore. Meiosis occurs during the carpospore formation. Alteration of generation is present. Example of the red algae is Ceramium, Polysiphonia, Geladium and Cryptonemia and that is Giactrina. Okay, that's the example is Giactrina. Okay, so this is about your red algae. And do you know box, they are telling the green algae example, that is Boterococcus brownie, is employed in the biofuel production. Again this same do you know you will be reading in the next year. Biofuel production will be using a algae. Why we are using this biofuel production of this algae? It is a like you will be studying in the lesson of the principle and process of biotechnology under the technique lessons, methods of the techniques, genetic engineering lesson. You will be reading the same do you know, that is biofuel. We are taking the petroleum or the oil which is used for the vehicle purposes. We are taking from the living organism algae called Boterococcus brownie, which is used for the biofuel production. And algae in the healthcare, kelps are rich source of the iodine. Chlorella is used as a single cell proteins, person who are all going the astronauts or the space. And Dulinina salina is a thrush, that is it can able to grow in the thrive in the harsh environment, that is thrive in the experiment, that is Dunalinea salina, because it is rich with the beta carotene and it is healthy also. Next, a productive cultivation in the sea, that is algae like a, that is Capacicus alvarezi and Razzleria edulis and Geladiella aerosa are the commercially grown in the sea for the harvesting phycolides. Sea palm, that is Postella pomalis, is a brown type of algae. It is commercially growing for the commercial productions. Okay, that's all about this algae. And finally, economic importance of the algae, that is the name of the economic important algae, beneficial activity. Chlorella laminaria sargum ulva and the entomomorpha are used as the food source. Grasslaria geladia and Giardia are used for the agar-agar. It's a cell wall material used for the preparation of media preparation in the microbiology lab. That is, media preparation means you could have seen in the hospital urine culture and blood culture. They will be giving taking your samples, urine culture, urine they will be taking blood, and that urine and blood will be growing under the agar-agar containing supporting medium only. So in that the agar-agar they will be used. And contrast crispus is algae used in the preparation of toothpaste, paints and blood coagulant. Okay, carrageenan is produced by the contrast crispus plant algae. And laminaria and ascopylum is alginate. It's used in the ice cream, paints and flame proof fabrics. Okay, next I am coming to the flame proof fabrics, means that is like polythene cover and all we can make from this. And laminaria sargassum, ascopylum fucus are used as a fodder. Fodder is nothing but it is used in case of animal feeds. Okay, and diatoms is a siliceous process, which is used in the earth water filters, insulation material like catheter. If you are going to the hospital, the patient cannot pass their urine, they will be using a separate catheter like instruments. In that instruments is made with a very soft plastic material, that is called insulation material, is made with this algae and reinforcing agent in the concrete and the rubbers. And lithophilum chara fucus is used as a fertilizer in the plant. And chlorella is used as a chlorine antibiotic. And chlorella Again, Chlamydomonas is used in the sewage treatment, that is wastewater treatment, pollution indicator. Our pollution is, our environment is polluted with very danger, danger indicator is used as these kind of algae, and harmful, these are all the beneficial activity of our algae, and harmful activity is in Cephaloris virescens is a algae which is caused the red rot of the coffee. If you are taking the coffee plant which is usually affected with this kind of, that is Cephaloris virescens is a algae that causing the redness of the coffee plant. Coffee plant எடுத்தனா துரு பிடிச்ச மாதிரி அந்த பிளான்ட் அப்படியே துருவா பிடிச்சி அப்படியே கொட்டு பவுடராக அது that is caused by these algae only. That's all about this video. Please watch this video and learn the concept. Thank you, students.